There you go.
Report it to your computer.
Liz is doing that, yes.
All right. Well, welcome to everyone that's here tonight for our first sort of hybrid meeting for NAMI. We have some people in person, some people on the Zoom. It's based on their ability to get there and their feelings of being able to be in a group setting. Good thing that the virus is starting to lessen a little bit. Maybe we can get more people out and about. We do have a presentation tonight. Tracy, one of our board members, is going to present the speaker here tonight. And Tracy, just tell us a little bit about yourself so everyone knows who you are. Just so people know, I'm Todd Bierke. I'm the president of NAMI La Crosse Vernon. I've been doing this for a while. I'll just let you know, NAMI's looking for some more board members if anyone's interested. And we have another event coming up next month. I think it's October 18th. It'll be our Irish Awards. You can hear about 4 people or groups that we are recognizing for their work in the field of mental health. So, Tracy, go ahead.
Okay, fabulous. Today, Liz Evans is going to be presenting to us. She is the Community Impact Director at the Great Rivers United Way. Liz has spent the past 7 years at the Great Rivers United Way and an additional 10 years working for a nonprofit helping people who have experienced trauma. She is going to present her involvement with the partnership and how the funds at the Great River United Way in the 6 county region help these different programs, and she's going to tell you more about the programs that could help one of us. So here is Liz Evans. Welcome, Liz.
Thank you, Tracy. Hello, everyone. I'm going to share a slide deck here that it will hopefully. All right. Alice, a thumbs up again. Do you see the first slide? Thank you. Thank you very much. So I'm talking today about regional mental health programs that are supported by Great Rivers United Way. And when I say a region, the region we cover is Buffalo and Trempealeau counties to the north of La Crosse. We include Houston County in Minnesota. And then we also have Monroe County, Vernon County, and then we do not as much of our usual granting, but we do cover some of Crawford County with some different types of programming. So the overview of what I'm going to talk about tonight is a little bit about our process in identifying the needs and our strategic process and our granting process. And then I'll dive deeper into the programs that are funded by our grants and then some other partnerships that we're involved in. So identifying the needs. Some of you may have heard of the Compass Now. I don't know why I put the 2018. Yes, I do. So the 2018 Compass Now, the top needs that were identified were more livable wage jobs, improved mental health and increased access to mental health care services, reduced drug and alcohol misuse and abuse, increased wraparound support throughout the lifespan, and increased inclusion of socially diverse people. And the reason I chose the 2018 Compass Now is because that was the beginning of our strategic plan. We developed a strategic plan from that and developed 2 different strategic objectives that involve mental health. The first was supporting a healthy and socially connected community. And with this objective, we're looking at increasing and improving prevention and intervention programming for mental health, but also improving connections for at-risk community members to community resources. And then the other one was positively impacting our youngest community members. So looking really at the youth in the community and strengthening family supports was what we really, one of the objectives we wanted to, our strategies we wanted to look at there. Are you able to hear me okay? Not really.
Thumbs up.
Can you hear okay? Okay. So our
Yes, I can
process,
hear.
You can, thank you, Patty Jo. Thank
Yeah.
you. So our granting process, we start with certification where organizations within our community go through a vetting process. And then we accept applications for programming. Within that process, we have volunteers that review those applications. And I have to thank Alice right here because she was one of our volunteer reviewers last go around. And then we make awards from those volunteer reviews. One of the things we strongly consider is the strength of alignment between the program and our strategic objective. So when I look at the organizations that are funded, we have 19 plus, and I say plus organizations. The ones here are the ones I'm covering tonight, but there's other organizations that are funded. We have 25 in total. There are other organizations that do things that support mental health in the community, but not quite as directly. Like I didn't include scouting programs, but we do know that, you know, they're providing mentorship for youth and providing resilience skills. So I guess I could have, but I did not include them. I've divided the programs we funded into different categories. Into the first category I'll cover is direct mental health supports and treatment. The second is programs that have protective factors, resilience, and prevention programming. The third category I identified was trauma supports. And then there's some ancillary supports and community-wide programming. I have copies of everything.
Okay,
So digging deeper into the programs that we support, I'll go directly to the direct mental health supports. American Red Cross, we all know that they're there for a disaster, but their volunteers are trained to identify if there's mental health distress and to make referrals to mental health services, but they also have staff on their team that do short-term disaster-related mental health support and then help provide a warm transfer in the case where ongoing support is needed. And they provide that support to both victims of a disaster and the emergency responders, which is really important to keep them in mind because they've experienced trauma as well due to the disasters. The Boys and Girls Club of Greater La Crosse, I think I'm going in mostly alphabetical order. Their youth mental health support program embeds behavioral support that they're professionals who are employed by Mayo Health System and are embedded as youth and family service directors within their clubs. And they're providing behavioral health programming for club members that are having specific troubles with behaviors, and they work, you know, as a wraparound, as a part of a team on behavioral health improvement plans, but they also provide training to all of the staff so that all of the staff at Boys and Girls Clubs in Greater La Crosse are aware of mental health issues and have some of those tools in order to help kiddos deal with some of the stuff that they're dealing with. And right here, we're here at Cooley Recovery Center, those of us that are in person. Cooley Recovery Center, you know, while they focus mostly on substance use, not everybody who is dealing with substance abuse, of course, is also dealing with mental health. Not everyone with mental health also deals with substance abuse, but they do co-occur enough that I included them on this. And because the skills that are taught here and the interventions, the support provided helps anyone if they're dealing with mental health or substance abuse. So the two things under direct mental health support and treatment that Cooley Recovery Center is doing is their crisis intervention, where they have somebody available that can provide that support in between. It can be a bridge between when someone decides that they want to get treatment and until they can get into treatment. We know that there's a lack of options for folks. So, I mean, that could be anywhere between 2 to 8 weeks that they want to make sure that person is getting help when they decide that they need to get help. And then they have recovery support and relapse prevention, which provides both organized and drop-in activities for folks that want a place where they can stay sober, find peer support, and just community and connection, which is super important in supporting their mental health. A couple programs at Family and Children's Center that we support that are direct mental health supports are outpatient counseling, which is literally therapists providing mental health treatment for children, adolescents, adults, and families. And then the Other Door Drop-In Center in Vernon County, which provides that peer support, education, and activities related to mental health and substance use recovery. I think I'm going a little fast, so if anyone has any questions, just feel free to hop right in. And while I'm sharing screen, I can't really see everyone on Zoom. So don't be afraid to hop in if you have any questions at all. Moving on, Independent Living Resources, their Rave Recovery Avenue is also a drop-in center here in La Crosse. That is also for folks that are dealing with mental health and substance abuse recovery, that they can get the support of a peer specialist and also find community and activities that are, organized activities to participate in and learn new skills for resilience. The Salvation Army, their emergency shelter, provides a place where Viterbo mental health counseling students can come in and, working with the Viterbo staff, learn how to do assessments and provide some mental health services right there for folks that are in shelter. And then they also have Dr. Tranel providing psychiatric consultation there at the shelter. So it's a very important service that the folks staying there are able to get without having to leave and go elsewhere. Finally, with direct mental health and support and treatment, I've included Great Rivers 211. They're a 24-hour telephone information and referral line, but they also provide supportive listening. Some people just need someone to talk to, and they've got folks there 24 hours to provide that support. They also do, they used to do a mental health specific related line. That contract went elsewhere, but they do also have the substance use related line that folks can get that support for substance use recovery. So the next category I'm going to talk about are protective factors, resilience, and prevention programs. Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Seven Rivers region is a youth mentoring program I'm sure most everybody has heard of. And one of the things that we've seen is that having a supportive, caring, reliable adult in a child's life is a huge protective factor. And that it is just something that helps a kid build those resiliency skills. And the kids that are in Big Brothers and Big Sisters haven't exactly had that stability throughout their life. So that's why I've included it here. It's just really setting those youth off on a more positive footing. The Boys and Girls Clubs of West Central Wisconsin, they've incorporated Thrive, which is tools for health, resilience, insight, vitality, and empowerment into their club, but which it involves all sorts of different components of developing mental wellness and emotional support and social learning within the whole club. One of the things before they officially made the Thrive program, we helped them with a small grant to build a Zen Den, where they had a space where kids, if they were getting overwhelmed before, behaviors came out, the kids would learn that they're feeling like they're gonna act out. They had a safe place that they could go, get regulated again, and then come back into club activities. And there were all sorts of, fidgets and, places where if they needed to get some physical movement out, they had a trampoline, and they also had the calming and soothing activities in the Zen Den too. So it's just really recognizing that kids have different ways of expressing their emotional and behavioral needs, and working with that. And now they've really developed that club wide into all different aspects of their club.
Where is that? Where are those things in our area?
Oh, so Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Seven Rivers region, they're in La Crosse, Winona, and I think they're trying to get back into other counties. Boys and Girls Club of West Central Wisconsin, and the club in Toma is the one we support. I think most of the others, sorry, I'm going back really quick here. Yep, most of the others so far have been La Crosse centric, but folks from anywhere in the region can use the services. Yeshia Incorporated has their Elders Holistic Health Advocacy Program. So this is recognizing that the elder Hmong population has been through a lot of trauma. They've gone through war, they've emigrated here through some really terrible conditions, dealt with trying to integrate into communities here, experienced poverty, all sorts of things. And many have depression, anxiety, PTSD, and complex PTSD. And Yeshia has, they've developed support groups for the Hmong elders, but also have advocates that help the elders identify their health needs and advocate with providers for those health needs as well. Not speaking fluent English is often a barrier for folks, and you don't always want, I've seen in my past, I've experienced where a mom has a young kid doing the translating, and it's not ideal for that child to be in that position either. So this is a really great program that they have developed to help the elders and build community.
And where do they meet?
Their office is in Onalaska.
Okay.
And then for prevention, Cooley Recovery Center does prevention and education. So it teaches youth about the consequences of substance abuse, both physical and mental, and it includes a lot of resiliency skills. Going back to Cooley Recovery Center, they do their education, I think both in La Crosse and Trempealeau counties in school systems. Family and Children's Centers, their Healthy Families program. That program was, its main purpose is to reduce child abuse. It is a family visiting program for at-risk families, but I include it with this protective factors because it's working with families that have newborn children. Sometimes they get enrolled before the baby is even born and are able to work with a case manager on a weekly basis in working on their family goals and developing good good skills for resiliency and mental health, and also getting that child off to a good start and learning about healthy child development and brain development. So it's kind of, to me, a two-pronged approach to mental wellness, as well as preventing child abuse. The La Crosse area Healthy Community Partner, Healthy Families, they are operating in La Crosse County, but recently got a new grant to expand to Winona, which is very exciting for them. They may do some other, maybe Vernon County as well. I am not positive. I would have to check my records. Sorry.
They were moving into Vernon County as well. I used to be.
Good. Good. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a new addition down there.
People are interested, Paul, maybe you can talk to this. If people are interested in the Healthy Families, how do they get enrolled?
I think it's usually through their physician or the county. I would have to check with them. There are a couple other home visiting programs too, but these are I think physicians help identify those at-risk families.
Sure.
And it's a volunteer program. It gives people just that benefit of having someone to turn to when you're a new parent. Yeah. The La Crosse Area Healthy Community Partnership, their program Neighbors in Action operates in La Crosse and Caledonia. They provide services to support people aging at home. And I include that as protective factors, resilience, and prevention, because this provides someone who may be homebound, not getting much interaction outside of that one person who stops on a regular basis to provide that social interaction. But they also, their care partners, provide respite care so that the caregivers get a break, and that can help alleviate some of that stress of being a full-time caregiver to a spouse or family member. Western Dairyland Employment Development Council, they are operating in Trempealeau and Buffalo counties. Their RSVP, Retired and Senior Volunteer Program, provides some really good social connection and a sense of purpose through volunteerism. A lot of times the volunteer opportunities that they're doing are very meaningful, like making sure children have a birthday cake and a present on their birthday, or just making sure that people have food through the food shelf. It's really just having some connection to community and not being isolated, that I just see so much benefit through volunteerism. I also included the Hunger Task Force, the Cane Street Community Garden, as a prime example of volunteerism and community building that is so beneficial to folks. I'm going to move now into our third category, which is trauma support. We provide funding for Bluff Country Family Resources. Their 24-hour crisis line is there for Houston County victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. Of course, they don't know where you're calling from. So, if you're from La Crosse, it's not a problem. Some folks are just, more comfortable reaching out to a different county, and that's okay. But they are central to Houston County and work closely with, advocating for folks, providing that support, understanding, they have very good understanding of mental health and mental health crisis, and work closely with mobile crisis if safety issues arise due to mental distress. Family and Children's Center, their Stepping Stones program is a program that helps children who've experienced abuse or neglect through forensic interviews that are recorded. It helps the kiddos to not have to retell their story over and over and over. The Stepping Stones program also is a place they get expedited mental health services by partnering with Mayo and Gunderson. Also at Family and Children's Center, we fund their domestic abuse project in Vernon County, helping Vernon County victims of domestic violence. Of course, New Horizons Shelter and Outreach Centers is right here in La Crosse County. They also have services in Trempealeau County, but they provide victims of domestic violence and sexual assault with support and advocacy. Also, their children's advocate works with kiddos who've witnessed and experienced abuse and helps them build coping and resiliency skills. And then YWCA of La Crosse, their CASA, court-appointed special advocates for kids program, has volunteers that are trained to support and advocate for child victims of abuse. They're, you know, a person that the judge can turn to. I'm sure Judge Bierke can help me out on this one, that the judge can turn to as a voice for that, for the child.
That's correct. The judges appoint quite a few CASA volunteers through the court system, and it's usually kids that are old enough to work with somebody, and it's almost like a big brother, big sister type relationship, but they have special training to go beyond that type of relationship and really help guide and move the child forward when the parents are really not able to be there for them. And these children don't have to just be victims of abuse. They are just children that are in the system, likely for neglect or other issues associated with children in need of protection or services.
Yeah, and again, having that trusted adult that is reliable and shows up is so important in building resiliency. And I'll move on to some ancillary supports. Cooley Cap has a program called SOAR, which is Social Security Outreach Access and Recovery. And that is providing Social Security application and case management assistance to folks who are homeless and mentally ill. It helps them through a proven documentation method and an expedited application process to get benefits quicker with less chances of having their application denied. It's a super important way for folks to get that income, which can then be much more beneficial to them in getting housed. And then Scenic Bluffs Community Health Centers, they are in Cashton and Norwalk. They have a, well, I think they're in La Crosse now too. Sorry, they have a location here, but they have a supportive pharmacy services program that they've just started, which is helping patients to access programs that will help them with affordable prescriptions. And being able to maintain medication is super important if you have a mental health diagnosis. So I include that as well as something really important for folks. The Great Rivers Hub also is a program that is housed under Great Rivers United Way in partnership with a lot of other community organizations like Family and Children's Center and St. Clair Health Mission, where community health workers are assisting families in achieving their goals for their physical health and mental health. So it's just another service that's offered. We also are involved in some community-wide programming. The Greater La Crosse Area Diversity Council has diversity, equity, and inclusiveness programming, which helps toward making the area as welcoming and inclusive to all people. Better Together is a partnership that's focused on improving youth mental health throughout the community. I work closely with the Monroe County Mental Health Coalition, and several of our staff are involved in the resilient and trauma-informed community work as well. So not only are funds supporting mental health work, we're as staff members out there as well. When I added it up, it was about $600,000 that well, just over $600,000 that we're investing in services that help improve mental health and mental wellness within the communities we serve, out of a $1 million, total allocation. So it's a pretty good chunk that helps support this work. Any questions? And then if you have any questions at all that you'd like to reach me on, my email is provided. I sent Tracy the slide deck so she can provide that as well to everyone. And if you want to link up with some of the programs online, we have all of our partners at gruw.org, and you can link out to their websites from there.
Well, Liz, thank you very much for that nice overview of everything that Great Rivers United Way is doing for our community and our region. I think a lot of people probably don't necessarily know that. And, we have a lot of good resources here. And I think that you really help keep some of those resources continuing to be available for people that really need them. So, at least from my perspective, I really appreciate the work that you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate being here.
Thank you. Anyone else have any comments or questions for Liz?
Yeah, I have a question. What are your hopes for mental health agencies in the future, Liz?
Well, my hopes, I have pie in the sky dreams, and then I have some realistic hopes. We have within our rural counties, there's a shortage of providers. So I really would love to see more providers helping out in especially the rural counties. La Crosse needs more providers too, but that being able to shorten that time between when somebody wants treatment and can get into treatment would be huge, as well as closing that treatment gap of people who are suffering and not getting help at all. I would also love to see more of a community support and understanding for folks with mental illness. That's why I'm involved in coalition work, and we are in the resilient and trauma-informed community work. We really want to build that community support, the supports that are just person to person and understanding for each other and empathy. I think I'm a little bit of an idealist, but I think I've seen movement. People are more willing to talk about mental health than they were in the past. So just want to continue improving that.
Thank you. I agree.
Thanks, Alice.
All right. Well, Tracy, thank you for bringing Liz on board here today from United Way. I think that was very good to hear all that. Again, Liz, thank you, and good luck with your organization. I hope they continue to thrive like they have for quite a number of years here, and keep up all that good work. Hopefully these goals of different groups can really be brought together better. I think there's a few still people going down their own lane or in their own silos, and we need to break out of that. And I agree with you that awareness of mental health is loosening up more and more each year. The stigma is still there, but it is getting better, and we just have a lot of work to do yet to achieve looking at mental health like you do any other physical ailment that people have, and accept it and address it properly so people don't suffer. So again, thank you so much.
You bet. Thank you for having me.
All right. I hope to see people at our meeting next month, October 18th, maybe at First, is it First Lutheran or First Congregational Church?
Congregational.
And we'll put that in our materials going out if we verify that. So again, thank you, everybody, and stay safe, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Night.